Hello friends, we are going to discuss the part 6 of constitution, and this is a part of this is a lecture of polity. And in part 6 of constitution we know that it mentioned about the states, and in states we know that states comprising of three things. The first thing is the executive, the second is the legislature, and third is the judiciary. We will first discuss the executive one and then legislature and the judiciary in the subsequent videos. So first of all, executive. So Article 153 of Constitution says that there shall be a governor of a state. We have to study the articles of that is mentioned in the Constitution, and Article 153 says that there shall be the governor of a state. And initially it was not clear that whether the governor of a state that is mentioned in the Constitution has to be of one state, means each state has to be one governor, or there can be more than one governor of a state. So it was not earlier clear. So for that purpose, in the 7th Constitutional Amendment of 1956, governor was made that it was the provision was added that one governor can be of more than one states. So this was added in the 7th Constitutional Amendment of 1956. Now, now the next thing is that who determines the salary and allowances of a governor? The salary and allowances are maintained by the president. The president prescribes what is the salary and allowance of a governor. So it is done by the president. Now, one thing that we have to look on is that why shall there be a governor? So we will look at it is a very important part. We have to understand this. It is a very I would suggest that it is a very conceptual topic. So just be very careful of that. So there should be a governor of a state because he acts as he is the head of a state executive. So every function of in the state is in the name of the governor. Like this is the same. This is like the same as every function of the union is done in the name of president. Similarly, the head of the state is what governor in the state. And second thing is that the governor represents the center in the state. Now, in somewhere you find that it has been written that the governor acts like an agent of the center. So there are two things. The first thing, in some both of them are correct, but we have to understand the what we can understand the certain concept behind that, and we have to understand certain concept. The first concept is that what do we mean by representative? Representative means that for day-to-day functioning of administration, someone must be there who perform that function. So that is meant by representative, someone who represents someone. So what does it mean? What does it mean by the governor represents the center in the state? It means that the center is not working. See, the governor acts like a representative. It means that he acts as a medium. He acts as a balance between the center and the state, and the governor look for the interest of a center in the state and work on that manner. So what I was saying, the governor represents the center in the state, and it means that it represents the interest of the center. And I have discussed that representative means that for performing day-to-day functioning, and agent means that so we have to understand the meaning of, first of all we understand the meaning and then the core concept behind that. Agent means that someone, for example, we all know that a lawyer represents in a judge in a court. Lawyer represents on our behalf. It means that it means that the lawyer is acting as if I am saying. So whatever the lawyer is saying, it means that it is saying on behalf of me. So whatever I have to say, it is the lawyer who is saying what I have to say. It means that the lawyer at that case is acting as agent of mine. So whatever lawyer is saying, is saying as if I would be the lawyer, I would say the same thing. So it means that he is the agent of mine. So similarly, when it has been written that the governor acts as an agent of center, it means that as if center have to rule in the state in certain condition. We will discuss what is certain condition. As if the center has to rule in the state, the center is not ruling on by itself. So it has sent someone who has sent the governor to act on behalf of center. So it means that when the governor acts as the agent of center, it indicates that the center has to do in the state, but center has to do another function. So he has sent someone. He has sent a governor to rule in the state. It is the meaning of the agent. And what we mean by representative? Representative means that it is an independent body. It is an independent body. It is not the representative. It is not the functioning as if the function done by the agent. So representative, as I have discussed that since center has to there, the governor act as a representative when the center, some interest of center has to fulfill, and in all day-to-day functioning, it is the governor who represents the center. That is, it maintains the interest of center in the state. So it is the meaning of representative and the agent. I think I am clear. Just if you do not understand it, just rewind the video and you will understand it. Now now the next thing is that the powers of the governor. So let me clear the space. See that this two concept, that is the representative and the agent, is a very unique concept, and it must be cleared before going ahead, because it is a very conceptual topic, and we are very confused in the initial reading whenever it has been mentioned about the representative and the agent. So just what we does, we just collaborate. We think that both are same. No, both are not same. So let's give an example. In the case of president rule, or in the case of presidential emergency, since we know that what is meant by president rule means that the state functioning, the functioning of a state is not done according to the constitution. So it is the center who assumes the power of a state, and when the center assumes the power of the state, it has to rule. So since center has to do many things, so it can't rule both in the union level and at the state level. So it appoints someone. It has to appoint someone so that that person can rule in the state, because the state functioning is not ruling correctly. So since in this case, since the center has to appoint someone, so it is very obvious who will appoint, to whom the center will appoint. Center says that why to do some tedious work, just let's appoint the governor in this case. So in this case, the governor will act as an agent of the center, not the representative of center, because this is a very extraordinary case. So in this case, the governor act as if the center is ruling. So since the center is not ruling on its behalf, so center has to appoint someone, and center appoints the governor, and now the governor acts as an agent of the center, and it is, in this case, it is not the representative of the state, because in this case, in the case of representative, it has to perform the day-to-day functioning, and for performing day-to-day functioning, the governor is what? Governor is independent body in this case. Means when the governor represents the center, it is independent body, and when the governor acts as an agent, it is not an independent body. It is a body which the center has to rule, and it is not ruling, and so it has a point. It works as an agent of the governor, agent of the center in this case. And for normal case, it is a representative of the center, that it has to maintain the interest of the center. Now the power of a governor is divided in three cases. The first is the executive, the second is the legislature, and third is the judiciary. We will look at each of them. So first of all, executive power. The governor. We will compare the power of governor and the power of president in this case. See, the president. The constitution does not mention anything explicitly about the power of the president. But in the case of governor, the constitution want the forefather of the constitution, means that the father of the nation who built the constitution, they wanted to have a governor to be an independent body, and they wanted to have maintain some sort of discretion for the governor. So in the article 163 we will find that it has been written that, so if I read the article 163 clause 1 of the constitution, it says that there shall be a council of minister, there shall be council of minister who will aid and advise with the governor, and the governor has to act on the behalf of council of minister. See, the governor has to act on the governor has to act according to the council of minister except when it has discretion. So in the article 163 the constitution itself mentioned that the governor has a discretion, because it says that there shall be a council of minister who will aid and advise governor. They will aid and advise governor except when the governor has a discretion. So when governor has discretion in the case when the council of minister is itself not there, when they are not there in case there is emergency. And which type of emergency? Mostly the president rule. When the president rule in the state, it means that the council of minister has been dissolved, and in that case governor governor has a discretion. So what we can say that the office of a president, but no article of the constitution explicitly says that. No article of constitution explicitly says that there shall be a discretion for the president. But as we have seen that in the article 163 clause 1, it has been mentioned that the governor has a discretion. So we can say that we can conclude that the office of a president is a ceremonial body, but the office of a governor is equally functional and equally ceremonial. Means it has to be ceremonial, but in some case it has a functional role. So we can say that it is both functional and ceremonial, because function has been mentioned, the discretion power of a governor has been mentioned itself in the constitution, and but this is not the case with the president. Now the second thing that is mentioned in the constitution, the executive power of the governor, is that council of minister, the governor can act without the council of minister, as we have discussed in the earlier case. But this is not the case with the president, because president has to work by the aid and advice of the council of ministers. This is the council of minister of the state, and for the president, the council of minister is of the union. I think it is clear to you. Next thing, the discussion or not. So when it was asked, the further constitution, the further article of 163 clause 2, it says that when we have to describe when the governor has a discretion or not, the constitution says that when the governor has to be discretion or not, it has to be decided by the governor. It means that for having a discretion for a governor or not is the final decision is decided finally by the governor. It means that governor will decide whether I have a discretion or not in certain cases, and the decision of the governor in that case is final, and it has been mentioned in the article 163 clause 2 of the constitution. So we see that there is a discretion is mentioned in the constitution itself, and whether the discretion is not is decided by the governor itself. Now the next thing. Yes, I think nothing is left. Okay. So yes, the constitutional power. The constitutional power of the governor is mentioned, but the power of the president, as we know, as the pocket veto, the sun veto, pocket veto, suspensive veto, it has not been mentioned. This veto term is not mentioned in the constitution itself. And the power that we see that the president has a pocket veto power, suspensive veto, these terms are not mentioned in the constitution. So this veto or this power is derived implicitly. It has not been mentioned explicitly for the case of president. Now some discretionary powers of the government that we have to look at, some which is mentioned in the constitution itself. Article 166 clause 3 says that the rule for the convenient transaction of business of a state is made by the governor, and it is also made by the council of minister when the council of minister is there. And when it is made by the governor, it means that when the governor has discretion in certain cases, and what are that cases, as we discussed, the cases are when there is a president rule in the state. So in that case, the governor has a discretion to make rules for the transition of business of a state. Now Article 200 of the Constitution says that the governor has a power, governor has a discretion to reserve a bill. So we see here it is very obvious. Since Council of Ministers cannot say that, oh governor, please reserve a bill for the president rule, because no one wants to reserve a bill. So it has to be the power of the governor. It has to be discretion of the power, discretion of the governor, that whether to reserve a bill or not. It's solely its decision. So in that case, for reserving a bill, governor has a discretion. Now next thing is that in the article 1356 of the Constitution, it says that the governor has the power to recommend the president to take over the charge of a state, and in that case it does not require the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. It is very obvious. Why will the Council of Ministers of a state says that, oh governor, please recommend to the president that there is something wrong in the constitutional machinery of the state, and so that the president can take over charge of the state. So in that case, the governor will not say, the Council of Ministers will not say to will not aid and advise the governor in this case. It has to be discretion of the governor, so that when it finds that something is not doing well in the state, it can recommend the president on its own behalf and not act according to the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. Now next thing, the special power in some state. In some state, we find that some state, example, the Gujarat, the Kutch and the Maratha, the Kutch and the Kathwara region of the Gujarat, and in the Maharashtra, the Marathwada region, the governor has a discretion. The governor has a special power, and some other district, some other state like in the Nagaland, just let me recollect what are the states. Yes, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Assam, Karnataka, Nagaland. In these states, the governor has a power. The governor has a power of what? The development. The governor has a power to have a development board, and the governor can make a development board to develop these areas. And it has mentioned in the in some article in the Constitution. And for that purpose, for making a board for the development of some region that has mentioned in the Constitution, the governor does not require any council or any advice of Council of Ministers. So now we will look at the some legislative power and some judiciary power of the governor. Now we will look at the judicial power of the governor. So first power, we are discussing some very limited power of judicial power, and you can always read from the textbook, and I suggest you that you should read from the textbook. So the first power is that the governor has a clemency power. So many people confuse that. Many people wrongly say that the governor has a pardoning power. See, pardoning is just one power, and pardoning is just one power, and the whole. If you look at the completely, we find that it should be the case that the governor has a clemency power and pardoning is just one power. See, some power are in the clemency power we have a commutation, the third is reprieve, and many more. So the current thing should be that the governor has the clemency power, and now the next thing is that the governor does not have a power to mercy the court martial power, because for the court, because president is the supreme commander of the court of the supreme commander of all the three armies. So for court martial, if someone has to appeal, it has to be to the president and not the governor, and governor does not have power to for court martial, to reprieve the court martial. Now the third thing is that in the death case, when the death sentence is given, the president has a power, but governor does not have any power to in the death sentence cases. It is very simple, and I think you can always read from the textbook. Now, the very important concept, that is the removal of a governor. It is a very important part, because several states, in several cases, we find that whenever the government changes, the first thing that they do is to change the governor, and it has been a very controversial topic over the years. So we will discuss the removal of a governor in this case. Now, as we have discussed that the role of governor in the earlier some minutes, so I said that the governor act as a representative of the center in the state, a representative of the center in the state, because the governor act as to represent the interest of the center, represent interest of center in the state. So when someone is representing the interest of the center in the state, then who does that function? It has been done by the governor. And so we can say that the governor acts as a link between the center and the state. The next thing is that so why this topic became very controversial. In 2004, we find that when the UPA government came, there was a wholesome removal of a governor, and in any party, whenever the party changes, as I have discussed, whenever the government changes, be it any party, be it NDA, be it UP or anyone, they first of all remove the governor. So this happened in 2004, and what happened in 2010? The case was filed in the Supreme Court. The name of the case was BP Singhal versus Union of India. In that case, the Supreme Court is a very unique chance. Supreme Court says that the 156 Article Clause 1 says that the governor act as a pleasure of president. The governor act as the the governor hold office during the pleasure of the president. And in the same article, clause 3 mentioned that the office of a governor should be for 5 years. So these two are very we can say very complementary to each other, because one article says that it shall be the pleasure of the president, and another article says that the office should be for 5 years. So the Supreme Court very clearly clarified in this case, BP Singhal versus Union of India, that since the center has a power, since the governor act as a pleasure of president, and so it has so the power of the center, so president has a power or the center has a power to remove the governor, and they does not have to give reason for that. But the reason that they should give, that must be compelling reason, and that must be very strong. That must be very strong and compelling reason for removal of a governor, because see, as we have discussed that there were wholesome transfer of the removal of a governor in the earlier case. So for that, to look at this in future, the Supreme Court has given this judgment in 2010 in the case BP Singhal versus Union of India. And the Supreme Court also said that since the center has the power to remove the governor, so they have to give a compelling reason. And what do you mean by compelling reason? Compelling reason means that sufficient reason to remove a governor. And Supreme Court also says that, see, when we will not interfere in the removal of a governor unless and until these three criteria are not satisfied. So when these three criteria are satisfied, it means that when the removal of a governor is arbitrary and malignant, and when the court asks the reason from the center and the center does not give any reason, and the third thing is that when the reason given by the center for removal of a governor is irrelevant, then in these three cases the Supreme Court has power to adjudicate in that case and do some remedy for the governors. So these are the three cases when the Supreme Court can interfere in the removal of a governor, and unless and until these three criteria are not satisfied, it means that when the transfer or when the removal of the governor is not arbitrary and malignant, then Supreme Court will not interfere in that purpose. So I think this topic is clear, and we will discuss the Council of Ministers of the state, the state judiciary, that is the High Court, in another video. So thank you very much. Bye.